Abby Hagledge moved to New York City from Cincinnati to become a writer, and Greenwich Village felt like the place to live. Then this happened.
I spent the day with my friends, sort of traversing around the city. It was such a warm night that I said, I'm just going to walk home. This man on the corner said that I was beautiful. I was a block from my house, and I think I felt safer than I maybe should have been. He had a knife. I remember that at some point he forced me to perform oral sex on him. I remember being so terrified. You just do what you have to do to survive. And I think I saw the path that was ahead of me, and I wanted to live.
Abby reported the crime in 2015 to the NYPD, which never caught the suspect. Police labeled the crime against Hagledge as a criminal sexual act. The way NYPD counts crime on its website, what happened to Abby is not counted as a rape. The way the state and the FBI count crime, it is. We found the NYPD is using such a limited definition of rape in its own reports online that in New York City, the NYPD does not count the crimes of oral and anal rape, regardless of the gender of the victim, as a rape in its statistics it publishes on its website.
Do you believe being penetrated in your mouth is rape?
Yes. I didn't feel like a human in that moment. He was pushing my head down. I felt completely powerless, and I felt like my life was in danger.
Newsy has discovered NYPD's policy has resulted in a vast undercount of rape compared to federal measurements.
It's frightening. Rape is rape.
Rory Lantzman is a New York City councilman from Queens.
By misclassifying conduct that all of us would consider to be rape and would expect that our government would act to prevent is very troubling. And it distorts our awareness of what is going on in our communities.
The undercounting came to light after Newsy's parent company sued the NYPD for crime records. The trove of data reveals that the agency is essentially keeping two sets of numbers about rape in the city. One that it sends to the state and FBI shows 10,649 rapes from 2014 through the middle of 2018. The NYPD's more narrow method of counting for what it shares with the public shows just 6,600 rapes. That's a 38% undercount citywide. Some boroughs, like the Bronx, regularly saw undercounts of more than 40% in NYPD's reports on its own website.
It's dishonest. It suggests something that is not accurate, and that results in, that's an underreporting of sexual assault in the city of New York.
Dan Court is a member of the New York General Assembly representing the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Last fall, he filed a brief in support of the Scripps suit against the NYPD.
It was my hope that a true and accurate picture of the problem would lead us to finding the remedies to this scourge throughout New York City.
NYPD officials did not agree to an interview for this story, but over extensive emails explained the different numbers. In 1994, NYPD launched its own crime tracking system called CompStat. For 25 years, a sex crime in CompStat has counted as a rape only if it falls under one of three sections of New York criminal law that use the word rape in their title. But in 2012, state officials told local agencies New York State's Uniform Crime Reporting Program would adopt an expanded definition of rape by the FBI that includes oral and anal sex crimes and begin counting as rape sex offenses from 19 sections of New York law instead of just 3. The state said the FBI's new definition was intended to show a more accurate count of sexual assaults involving penetration. NYPD never updated the way CompStat counts rape, and nearly 7 years later continues using the much lower CompStat rape counts, the ones that don't count crimes involving oral or anal penetration.
But behind each number is a real live human being who has suffered a crime.
Councilman Lantzman sits on several police oversight committees and says the NYPD's lower CompStat counts for rape have consequences.
CompStat data is what drives police policy, policing, law enforcement in New York City. It drives police decision-making, it drives deployment decisions, it drives council oversight, and I worry that we have made decisions about funding, about deployment, about resources, about strategy on this misleading definition of rape.
In an email, NYPD said that since 2013, it has complied with the reporting of expanded rape to New York State every year, but said for operational purposes, it relies on the CompStat numbers, which it says are used to analyze crime conditions, develop crime strategies, and determine personnel and other resource requirements. It says oral and anal rapes still get captured by CompStat, just under different catch-all buckets with names like felony sex crimes or misdemeanor sex crimes.
To call rape, forced anal sex, forced oral sex, anything but rape is to invalidate this experience, this trauma for survivors. And it is important that we give them the tool that they need to move forward in their lives.
State Assembly member Aravella Simotis represents New York's Astoria neighborhood and has been trying for years to pass a law which would legally redefine oral and anal sex as rape, but says the FBI has already laid out a path for police agencies to more accurately tell the public about rape. And Simotis has this question for NYPD's top leadership to ask.
I would ask your daughter or your mother or your wife what they would consider having a penis shoved up their anus or down their mouth. Would they not call that rape? Clearly, the answer is yes.
In an email, a spokesperson said the NYPD constantly reassesses our existing procedures and, in line with that, are in the process of reviewing our existing protocols.
They are completely letting down survivors and completely misdefining rape for what it is and for what I think the vast majority of the United States and clearly the FBI understand to be rape.